YouTube? We are back with some more match play videos for ya. I am joined by the Brother Bear, the Highwayman, the Kaiju King, TJ.
You talk about us like we are one, for we are many. The other day, one of my friends was opening up cards for her graduation party, and I started playing the sad Naruto theme while she was doing it because she started crying, and then everybody yelled at me, but it was really funny.
Why you gotta do that, Allie?
Because I thought it was funny. She laughed after she cried. She was already crying before, I should actually clarify. Sorry, she was crying before, and I wanted to make those emotions more intense.
You had good intentions.
It's cleansing for the soul.
True. But we are back with some more cam games for you guys. Like I said earlier, past couple weeks have been busy. Locals also with Mother's Day and whatnot. Didn't have a lot of stuff to do. So we'll be getting back to locals soon. But in the meantime, enjoy some cam games with myself and the Brother Bear. I am on the left today playing Adventure. This is the first time we've actually had Adventure on cam, which the deck is fun. Yeah, I'm surprised we haven't had it on here, but the deck can do a lot of really neat things, and I think it's a sleeper deck that, I say it's a sleeper deck like nobody's really playing it. A lot of people are actually playing it and getting some pretty good success with it at store regionals and like real large event regionals too. So definitely a deck to watch out for in the competitive season. Shout out to Risu, fellow YouTuber. If you haven't checked his channel for whatever reason yet or haven't heard of him, do check him out. Great content creator and a huge staple in our community. He's a huge fan of Adventure, and we've been bouncing a lot of ideas off of him. So this is the first time we've had it on cam. I'm on the left with it. TJ is back on the ShineGreymon train on the right. Yeah. So should be an interesting matchup. Shine also has had a lot of interesting support pieces, as Josh has illustrated on the channel to a great degree towards the beginning of the meta. So let us know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Hit us up on our socials and hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't already. But enough yapping from me. Let's go into more yapping.
Yep. Honestly, I know you're saying a lot of people are playing Adventure. I do think that it is slept on. I do think a lot of people are still not playing it. Not so much because of it not being accessible necessarily, but I think one maybe is because of secret ties and promo war grays are kind of pretty necessary. A little bit more. They're not super expensive. It's not like Rena Old Force expensive, but they're pricey. But I think people look at the deck and they're like, how do I build this? Where do I start? What do I want to do?
Because you have a lot of options at your disposal. There's so much you can do. I am a little bit gummed up. So we play out a Tai Izzy for 3 and then play out an Agu suspending the Tai Izzy we just played to reduce the play cost. Just to kind of give you a little less memory to work with. You go into the restricted Geogray here and hit a Marcus, which is pretty poggies.
Yep. That new Marcus ult is so good.
So good. I'm just sad I bought those at 22 bucks each, and now they're 10
same.
Bucks.
Yep. Yeah, I'm right there with you, Brother Bear. It feels awful. It does not feel good.
To be fair, if once Shine tops, which I think it will at some point, someone's going to crack it, someone's going to do well with it, or just high roll with it. Those ults are going to go up.
Yeah, for sure.
But you're doing the goated play that we see here. Go ahead.
So turn 2, I've gone ahead and I've gone up a line already because I opened up a lot of not all of ones, but my one of BT-13 Geogray, which saw that Marcus. I go into the 21 Rise, which lets me push up the 12 Marcus to swing the 12 Marcus. 12 Marcus will let me then go ahead and go into the BT-12 Shine for free, and then I can alliance and go in for 3 checks, and I think I was pseudo 29k for those 3 checks. I think I was actually 23 and then minus 6k on security. That's just dropping Agu for search because you're gonna go to 3 anyways, which is all good. Pretty works out. And then I have 2 stacks, I have 2 bodies on board. I have 2 Marcuses set up, so I was feeling pretty good.
Yeah.
But that just illustrates how fast Shine just can do so much damage so quickly.
The problem is here, right, where you kind of do your damage and he's very vulnerable now.
There's nothing to keep him safe.
So we go Burdra. We Evo into it. On Evo, Burdra lets me go into a Lily. Lily, since I have multiple colors, first you suspend everything 5k or less, and then for every 2 colors you bot deck a suspended Digimon. So you bot deck your board. Play out a Greymon for reduced cost of 1 by suspending my Tamers. Play out the since I played out, Lily gets to gain Alliance. We do the 2 checks there with big numbers and live.
Mhm.
And I'm like, okay, you had a big play. I was able to respond as well. And we go ahead and just pass turn with a Believe in Our Friendship to pick up a card. I'm like, well, the level 5 is pretty nice. But I'm like, Wargrey Ace is nice too. Also, now that I have it, force you to kind of play around it as well.
Yeah.
But you do have a scramble here, which you are able to use. So you're just debating on what you want to put to top deck and play out. But as you kind of do all that, right, this is sort of where adventure can get a little crazy, right? Like the Lily is a very good defensive card. We saw an Angelomon before previously that can also do some pretty gnarly things, being able to give your Digimon the ability to kind of ping pong and warp up Evo for free is just crazy.
It's good. It's really good.
And when you pair that with the new Matt and TK tamer, which we saw there, right, the purple yellow one, more often than not, you could slam down a level 4, warp up into a level 5, and now all of a sudden that level 5 has rush. Sometimes it gets Alliance as well. So a lot of really neat kind of hybrid of aggression and defensive options at your disposal with this deck, which is why I think it's scary. Like once it starts to set up and snowball, like the deck can go to places that are pretty scary for your opponent to deal with.
Oh, absolutely. I just took a while to figure out what I wanted to do.
You're good.
So a Evo in the back and do a BT-13 Agu. I have this BT-21 Agu on the board. I'm debating if I want to. I decided to leave the Marcus in the back, so I was like, it's fine. Because I had some plays. And there's a reason why it took me a while, because I was trying to decide if I wanted to, how I wanted to go about this. Like, what was the best way for me to control board while doing everything?
Right.
I go ahead and I go into a 21 Geogray. I hard play a Marcus. Marcus on play, I go ahead and suspend him to minus 3k on, I believe I did it on the Greymon.
Yeah.
And then gain a memory. I swing the Marcus off of going into the 21 Rise. 21 Rise, allowing that whole thing to happen. And then Marcus lets me Evo into the 21 Shine, which lets me pop a 9k or less, which is pretty good. So I pop the Lilymon while having the Marcus swing over the Greymon.
Right.
And I'm debating if I want to Alliance or not, because I'm like, you added the Lily back to hand, and I'm like, no, I'm not going to Alliance. There's also no reason to. I'm already bigger than the Greymon. I just need to just swing over it to clear it.
Right.
So it works out.
And I think kind of a good illustration of what this BT-21 Shine Grey can do as well, right? I think a lot of folks still focus on BT-12 for good reason, but this BT-21 Shine is also a pretty decent defensive option, being able to pop a 9k body or less on Evo. It doesn't sound as big, right? Because 9k is like, who does 9k? But with how much you DP reduce in Shine, like that's actually not unreasonable to pop a big body off of that too.
No, not by any means.
And suspending, Marcus when you swing, whether it be BT-12 Marcus, which can, as we've seen, do some pretty crazy things. The new BT-21 Marcus to give and DP neg. You can do a lot of nice sequencing there. But go ahead.
The good thing too with the 21 Shine as well is the fact that when you start getting a lot of Marcuses on board and you want to use other Marcuses to swing, he has his own built-in aggression and DP climb, so you don't need to rely on Marcus Alliance or rely on Marcuses just for all your aggression. Normally the Shine stack tends to function as a tool to enable Marcus, whereas he basically is I can function mostly on my own.
Yeah,
which is really nice.
So unfortunate scenario that we just saw here, right? I played out the Agu using the tie. I was kind of missing level 5s at that point, so I was just like, well, let's just warp up into Wargrey. I'm like, wait, you picked up a Sunrise. I'm like, this guy's probably gonna get popped because he's only immune to Digimon effects.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, you know what? F it, we'll swing. He's probably gonna die at some point. Let's just get some aggression out there. And then I end up just dying in security, not even a Sunrise.
You end up hitting another BT-12 Shine.
Right, which is a little tough. Passes turnover. I mean, I think writing was on the wall regardless, but that just kind of expedited my demise. So, I guess you played a lot of Shine even before this, right? You did very well at various regionals. You were menace at locals back when BT-12 was around BT-13.
Shine is the only deck that I have ever won like a store championship with.
Right.
But it was during the year when championships didn't get you invites, so it didn't matter.
That being said, though, like, how do you feel about this new stuff now that you've actually got to like play test it a little bit and mess around with it?
Every time I touch it, the little inkling of temptation whittles its way into me. It finds its way into me like a parasite, like a little leech, just like suckling on that desire to have Masaru punch for game.
Yeah.
I love it. I love Shine. It was a deck that I made for a while for a reason. I love ShineGreymon as a Digimon just in general. Yeah. But it definitely has some hard matchups. But it has the speed to keep up with them, with I'd say like 80 to 90% of the meta.
Sure.
Outside of a few decks that maybe just like really kind of make your life really hard. But yeah. So right now we're both kind of stuck. We're both suffering from different bricks. You're trying to find fives. I was trying to find rookies. I just push a little bit of aggression right now.
Yeah.
Just go ahead and alliance off of the Marcus. Get 2 checks in at a decent number and call it a day. He lives.
Yeah. And I mean, to this point too, right? Like, it's tough because nowadays there's so many things in security you're worried about hitting, like particularly in a deck against like Adventure, even Shine, right? Shine, Hunters, Cross, yada yada, right? Like, so many things can come out of security where you're just like, well, if I do that, I could really just end myself.
Yeah.
But at the same time too, I think because there's so much of that running around, it almost doesn't make sense to just wait, because then you end up, the game's gotten so fast nowadays where if you do that, you just end up losing anyway.
Need to go. Yeah.
So I feel like at this point, you're doing the exact right thing, which is like, you know what? Even if I hit the Tamers out, we know that I'm kind of just missing stuff. Just go for it. Do your thing.
Yeah.
We see you get 4 checks in with both the Marcus, the Shines, and all that stuff. So, I mean, it's a good play.
I think this also just goes to show how much more versatile Shine is with its aggression. Like, Old Shine couldn't do this.
Right.
Old Shine did not have the ability to do this type of aggression off of a brick. If you bricked like this with Old Shine, you were dead. You lost.
Right.
That was game over. It was GG's. It was whatever. Too bad. So sad. Probably about it another day.
Yeah.
But just like the new 21 pieces just enable so much. It's insane.
So this is the tough situation for me because I'm still missing a level 5. I'm like, you know what? Give me a pal that'll help me cycle. We go into BO, still looking for a level 5, and I still have not seen one. This is where you're like, how many cards in hand right now? I'm like, 9. So we yeet it, go into Burjo, which I'm like, okay, level 5, Metal Gray. We have a total of 4 colors, so we can D-Digi 2 onto your Shine, which is pretty good.
Yeah.
And here I'm like, okay, well now what? What do we do? So we go ahead, use Metal Gray to punch over the Geo Gray.
You attempt to.
I attempt to, but I'm like, wait a second, I have Rush.
Right. Yeah. So right now you're kind of stuck. So you're just trying to think about like what else you can do.
Yeah.
I think you were debating on just setting up another ace stack.
Yeah, part of me was like, okay, I have promo War Gray in here. I'm like, he could do some stuff, but I'm like, he also could just get DP negged because my board isn't really set up. I'm like, I might as well. And like the War Gray Ace also is like, sure, yeah, like I'm immune to Digimon effects, but it also just sort of sits there. One could argue might have been better to do War Gray Ace here because it's like I pop the body, both bodies gain immunity to Digimon effects at least, so you're kind of forced to use Tamer effects or, you know, Sunrise to deal with it.
Right.
But in my head, I'm like, I do have 2 aces in hand. If you don't sequence things or you don't see the right pieces, I could like double ace you on subsequent like attacks.
Yeah.
But that was like one thought process there, was to ace into a War Gray Ace, gain immunity, then Melga Ace into the other body. But you do sequence things very well here.
Yeah, so I went into a BT-13 Rise, played a BT-13 Marcus off of that, suspended it, gave it the minus 3k to your Metal Gray stack with the Palmon in it, then used the Geo Gray from 21's effect because I played a Marcus to Evo into the Rise. Rise effect, go ahead and make the other Marcus a Digimon with a Rush and Alliance, and then promote him and move him up, but chose not to attack.
Right.
And so now I'm like, okay, I've made a good board state. I'm feeling pretty good about that. But it's like, okay, I can only, with what I have in hand right now, I really only could clear one body. I was like one DP reduction inheritable away from being able to clear both. But of course, your Courage Unite is also there as well, which is another thing I'm trying to think about as well. So I'm like, okay, how do I get around this? So I just go into BT-12 Shine. I minus another 6K just to clear that stack and get rid of it. Realizing there really wasn't too much else I could like do. Unfortunately, I was kind of just in a weird spot where I was just like, okay, well, I'll just have to kind of deal with it.
So I
at this point,
Courage United played Agu. Unfortunately, no level 5 to play in hand, so it was just like tough bears for me. Yeah.
And so now I'm trying to think like, how do I get through this? Because I know you have the Wargrey Ace in hand. I knew that much at least. I swing the Marcus, give plus 3k to my ShineGrey, and then minus 3 onto the Agu. And this is where you're like, oh, Melga Ace. And I'm like, oh, okay. I was like, well, I forgot about that. So you bot deck my Shine, which is like, that's pretty tough. And I do not have another Shine in hand, so I was kind of stuck.
You hit a Met TK out of security, and then Rise is sitting there.
Pretty scary. Which I'm like, I'm realizing at this point where I'm like, I wish I kind of would have left the Agu and minus 3k on that stack. Because then if I minus 3k on the Melga, I could have swung Rise for game and forced you to block with it.
Yeah.
That would have just, well, I guess the Agu also would have had blocker too, huh?
Yeah.
So never mind, I would have been stuck either way. It's tough news, Bears. Just not seeing another ShineGrey actually is what's hurting me more than anything else right now. So
yeah.
I'm just kind of, I'm stuck. I'm in analysis paralysis, trying to think about what I want to do. I just drop an Agu at the end of the day and call it there, and you go ahead and take your turn.
Yep. So we promote Bio. We gain 1 memory off of the Sora and Kari. We swing Bio, hoping that it dies, which thankfully Birdo does. Because Sunamon will let me pick up a level 5 that I'm sorely missing right now.
Yeah.
And the only 2 that I have in trash are Angelmon and the Metal Gray. And I'm like, I could string along some combo plays with the Angelmon, I think a little bit better with what I have than the Metal Gray. Because I really only de-digivolve your Rise Gray, and that's about it.
Right.
So I'm like, I pick up the Angelmon. And I'm trying to sequence things out here. I am trying to make sure that I have another Digimon in play so that I can start to ping pong my Angelmon Evo. So I'm trying to decide what to play out. We play out the Greymon. So we taunt the Rise Gray on play. And then I can now alliance with Melga to do 2 checks at 16 and then pop using Gato's effect. And then Melga, when attacking, lets me play out a level 4, which is Bergermon, which lets me Evo into Angelmon. And unfortunately, I was hoping to draw into a level 5, and we still have not drawn into one, despite everything that we've done so far. And then Marcus comes out and it's like, oh god.
Yeah, hitting a Marcus out was pretty good for me.
Then you're deciding what you want to give the minus 3k to?
Yeah, I think I was debating on giving it to the Melga on the off chance that you'd hit something big in security because you were at 16. So there's a chance that you would just be at 12 and you would die to hitting a 15k body in there.
Yeah.
Or I put it on something else and you potentially hit another Marcus out and I kill it. But I do put on the and you do hit a burst mode on security, which was that's just insanely lucky for me. Like, that's just crazy. I go ahead. I'm starter main. I'm forced to swing. You go War Raise here and block it. Or pop it, rather. You don't have to block.
Yeah.
I have a lot of memory to work with, so I'm just trying to think about how I want to do things. I drop the Agu. Move one of the Marcuses up using the main effect. At this point, I was just thinking about like how I wanted to do things if I wanted to swing the Marcus already. But I go in Geogray first. Swing the Marcus. You're forced to block that. And then I go ahead and I go into Shine, or Rise rather, and Rise just makes the other Marcus swing with Rush, and it's pretty good.
It's pretty good. No, I mean Shine packs so much aggression now that, like you said, right? Like before you were a little bit one-dimensional, which is I think a little harsh on Shine. Don't get me wrong, but at the same time, like you were really relying on climbing the line, getting your Marcuses out, and then going for burst mode OTK essentially. Now you have a little bit more of a means of control, a little bit more means of like, if I don't see some pieces, honestly, what you did earlier, right? Just go BT-21 Rise, promote Marcus, swing multiple checks, call it a day is not a bad play either.
Right. You know, for like Shine before, like there was some like cheeky stuff you could do with the BT-13 Agu for like getting like those last few swings for game, but a lot of it was very reliant on the memory being on your side.
Yeah.
Otherwise you're just playing like it's just a stack deck that wanted to see like a very specific play. But now you just have different avenues. You have different avenues of different things. You don't care about the memory as much anymore because you can do things with the BT-21 Rise Gray for that extra bit of aggression and warp potential. It's just crazy. It's a lot more. It's a lot more toolboxy in a way.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm interested to see how both of these decks are gonna do moving forward in the meta. Whether we're gonna see some tops with it or whether they kind of take a little bit of a backseat, because they're in. Honestly, both decks I feel like are in a very good spot. You know, I wouldn't say they're top tier.
No.
But I think both decks definitely pack a punch and can do a pretty good showing, you know, in the right scenario and in the right hands. So be on the lookout for both of these. I think it's going to be an interesting season moving forward. Let us know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Hit us up on Discord, our socials, which are linked down in the video description. And hopefully we catch you on that next video. Bye-bye.
Bye.